AirTags, trackers, live 360s, plus, live 360 plus, mate. Looking. We Aye, we've been gone for a while still. We've been gone for a little while, but we're back, we're better. Not really much to say, man. Let's just take this whole YouTube thing by storm. Today's video is called Uncle Kills His Pregnant Niece to Hide That He Is the Father. That's an intense title. I'm trying to get to the bottom of this. I ain't even got my glasses or nothing to really get into the detective mode. Yeah, man, the English just ain't doing it. This is why you don't record after 9 p.m. I'm telling you. But anyway, let's get into the video.
When talking about an emerging case, it can be very difficult to keep the facts straight. It's natural for anyone with information to go on social media and tell the world what they know. It can be difficult for some people to sift through all the noise between facts and rumors. Some people would tell you that these cases should never be talked about until they're resolved, but as it pertains to a case that needs signal boosting, especially one where the victim has yet to be found, I think speaking about it is necessary, and many of you have reached out asking for us to shine a light on this one. Because of this, we'll be largely sticking to official sources today while the investigation is ongoing. This is a story that needs to be told about a poor girl who has been missing for over a year.
And she's still missing.
I'll tell you about Naziah Harris.
Oh, that body's
Naziah
gone.
Harris was born on September 16th, 2010 in Detroit, Michigan.
2010?
On the outside, she lived a fairly normal
15?
life. She was a straight-A student at J.E. Clark Preparatory Academy.
Had a whole future.
Like many girls her age, she was active on social media, especially TikTok.
Okay, if there's one AI site builder you need to meet.
Yeah, we don't really do the YouTube premium thing over here still.
According to the 7 Mile Radio podcast, Naziah's birth was the product of a workplace affair. Her father, Mervyn Jennings, was married at the time, and he and his wife were going through a rough patch heightened by his alcoholism.
Done what the title says.
Naziah's mother, Chantel, was also using drugs at the time and was considered a party girl. According to Mervyn, the pair signed away their parental rights to Naziah's maternal grandmother, Annette Harris. He said that he did this to protect his wife's feelings, as well as to make sure that Annette was able to get the assistance she needed to care for Naziah.
Logical.
Mervyn claimed that he visited Naziah when he could and even provided support for his young daughter. Allegedly, he lost contact with Naziah and Annette when they moved away during one of his many medical procedures. According to Mervyn, he had a heart condition that required surgery. At the time of our story, 13-year-old Naziah and Annette lived together in Detroit. She was a beautiful young girl who often wore her dark hair in braids. But despite outward appearances, Naziah's life was far from normal, and she was in an incredibly dangerous situation.
Naziah's aunt, Shannon Harris, had a relationship with a man named Jarvis Butts. Now, Jarvis had a history of predatory behavior with women and young girls. He would find women with young daughters and then build a relationship with them over time. Then he would prey upon the minors and tell them to keep it a secret. He himself had fathered multiple children, including Naziah's young cousins.
What?
The earliest instance of this behavior was in 2005, which he was subsequently convicted.
People just date anyone nowadays, isn't it? Like, the standards are all they're just dashed out the window. Man said this guy's basically an offender, preys on children. There's just no way that the auntie could have got pregnant by this man multiple times and not knowing any of this. Alright guys, don't be desperate, please. Do me a favor, protect your energy, man. That's crazy.
He was released from jail, he was put on the registry. 2012 to 2014, he targeted a child between 8 and 10 years old. The third victim was between 4 and 6 years old when he did the same to her from 2015 to 2017. Jarvis infected this girl with chlamydia. Some sources state...
Step back! Step back! Step back! I want everyone to understand what's just gone on. Be quiet. Sit down and listen again, please.
To keep it a secret. He himself had fathered multiple children, including Naziah's young
children.
The earliest instance of this behavior was in 2005, which he was subsequently convicted for. He was released from jail, he was put on the registry.
So he's a registered offender? And the auntie still got... I can change him. You can't change him. You can't change him. I hate that narrative. Like, I bet she was thinking that, oh yeah, I can change him. I'll make him better than what he was. Because she might have looked good to him. Keep listening.
2012 to 2014, he targeted a child between 8 and 10 years old.
A child, an individual child between 8 and 10 years old. That's what he's targeted, right?
His third victim was between 4 and 6 years old when he
4 and 6
did the same to her from 2015 to 2017. Jarvis infected this girl with chlamydia.
This video is going to require patience. We're 2 minutes in, man. This guy gave a 4 to 6 year old chlamydia. He has children, by the way. He's a registered offender, and this is not the first time. I can't lie. Under the jail ain't even a thing for people like this. You see, digital footprint. You will not get me today, bro, because I was about to say the mad thing. Bro, that's crazy.
Some sources state that she was his biological daughter, and others claim
what?
Some sources state that she was his biological daughter, and others claim that she was the daughter of his girlfriend at the time. Naziah was Jarvis's fourth victim, and she was 11 when he began assaulting her. Some family members didn't want him around Naziah for obvious reasons.
Family members should have wanted him
himself, but their warnings went unheard. Between 2015 and 2022, Jarvis has had at least 5 CPS reports made against him detailing inappropriate conduct with children. Shannon was aware of these reports and even confided in other family members. 2 of these reports were made by a pair of her relatives. The first was Jernell Smith Holland, who is said to be Shannon's aunt and Naziah's great aunt. During a birthday party in February of 2022, Jarvis lured Naziah and another unnamed minor girl into an isolated place and assaulted them.
Come on, man.
Jernell learned about the attack from Shannon and urged...
He has to be punished. This is too passive. Especially like for the men in the family. Even if you don't do something right there, right now, there has to be a follow-up. There has to be things done and certain strations to be castrated to stop this. Oh yeah, tell the police. Yeah, sure. I'm so sure they did that. Right? I'm gonna keep it real. You see the way my soul, the way my heart beats. My daughter? It doesn't even need to be my daughter. Let's keep it real. Any young, vulnerable individual, bro, this is mad. This is crazy.
Urged her niece to make a CPS report. Shannon said she would, so Jernell trusted that all would be taken care of, but it wasn't. In April, Jernell contacted CPS herself to report the incident at the birthday party. She was subsequently contacted about her children's safety and for Jarvis's information. Another relative, Kiwana Morton, made her own report after speaking with Shannon about Jarvis. Kiwana reported potential inappropriate behavior within the family.
Not potential, guaranteed damage.
Interviewed for these accusations, which he denied. He also spoke with the unnamed girl in Kiwana's report and searched the home. However, nothing else came from either of these reports. Later questioned by the press, CPS didn't provide any insight of further action taken to protect Naziah or of their investigation of Jarvis. Like in many preventable cases we've covered, it seems as if the information was recorded, filed away, and forgotten about. While at least some steps were taken for the unnamed girl...
I find that so mad that the police would do that, especially with an individual who's had such a, from what we can tell so far, such a long history of this behavior. I understand they've got other things to deal with, right? But prevention is better than cure, no? Do you get what I mean? Like, you can't... Bro, I got a lot to say about people like this. We might have to start watching this a lot more on the channel because it's good awareness, man. It's very good awareness. And you'd be surprised how many people are just out here doing this consistently. Shout out Jadion and Skeeter, bro. Because if you guys have been watching those type of channels, bro, you would be surprised how many you can find.
Kiwana's report, none were taken for Naziah. CPS did alert the Detroit Police Department about concerns for her safety, but they didn't follow up. Between 2023 and 2024, Shannon and Jarvis had broken things off. He was still in her life as the father of her children, and by extension, in Naziah's life too. And to be clear, we have heard accounts that he was referring to Naziah as his niece even after the fact. Despite quickly moving on and even becoming engaged to another woman, he continued to see Naziah in secret.
On January 9th, 2020.
How? I wonder. That's so mad. And obviously the girl's dad, he's got a heart condition, so we don't know where he is in all of this. But it's like, how is the little girl finding herself in these situations, bro? Sorry, you know when you're just getting questions as you go from. So I'm trying to show you what I'm thinking now, bro, because it's a mad one still. It's a mad one.
24. Naziah stepped off her school bus on Cornwall Street in 3 Mile Drive. She was never seen by her family again.
What?
CCTV caught footage of Naziah getting on the school bus in the morning and leaving her campus later that day. Okay. Her bus driver saw her get off at her usual stop.
Yeah.
Earlier that day, Naziah used her school-issued tablet to message Jarvis. The text read as follows. Don't forget, be there before 3. I will let you know when I'm leaving the school. If you're not there, I will wait.
Oh, this
She followed up with, send okay if you see the message so I can delete the number. Jarvis replied, okay.
This girl's been groomed.
Naziah also took this picture of herself, which would be the last picture of her taken alive.
No.
Annette Harris reported her granddaughter missing the following day on January 10th.
Oh, bro.
She was and still is criticized for her delay in taking action, but she wouldn't be the
now
only
I understand
one.
A bit more, man.
The Detroit Public Schools Community District tried handling the investigation on their own.
Man.
They thought it was just a teenage runaway case and that they could get Naziah home by themselves. School resource officer Derek Wolf was assigned to the case. Annette was puzzled as to how Naziah could disappear between her school bus stop and her front door, as the bus stop was only a short walk from her house. On February 13th, the community district turned to the Detroit Police Department when they realized it was beyond their expertise. Mind you, it took an entire month for this change to happen. Investigators spoke to Naziah's friends and classmates, hoping to gain some kind of lead, but the students that knew her well did not share anything useful at first. But eventually, their silence broke. It's unclear how much Naziah confided in her friends. According to Chief of Public Safety, LaBritt Jackson, sometimes they may think they're helping a friend by withholding information, but they're not. The initial roadblock was a lack of cooperation by the students. She had told them that she planned on running away, but her classmates didn't tell us that initially.
So what, she was gonna run away with this guy?
I don't know if they're being totally forthcoming now. Kids are extremely loyal to each other.
With police searching for Naziah, Annette told reporters,
I want my baby home.
I bet, man.
And I'm asking in the name of Jesus, and I stand on my faith that he's going to bring her home. And we're asking anybody that has any information,
She is
I don't care
heartbroken,
who it is. Please come forth, contact the police department.
Poor baby, man.
Her life could be in danger. We can't rule anything out, and I'm hoping and praying that that is not the case. I'm standing on my faith that God is gonna bring my baby home. But it's been really rough. Footage of her getting on the school bus, and the bus driver did say that she did get off at her regular stop, okay? And she was supposed to have been coming home, like she normally do. Every day. When a child is missing, you got to look everywhere. I had no idea that it was going to be here. I was just told that this is where it was going.
You see, Father Jams, when we get to that stage, bro, I'm gonna be overly vigilant. And not like in a overbearing way, but I'm just gonna know what's going on by the grace of God. Because life comes at you fast, so let's not, you know what I mean? But I'm gonna make my best effort to be super vigilant of what I'm going, bro. Air tags, trackers, live 360s, plus, live 360 plus, mate. We're just not doing it, are we? And it's sad, man. It's sad because that girl was groomed by that man. That's so disgusting. So disgusting, bro. Oh, that's actually giving me goosebumps, I'm gonna keep it real. And I'm still thinking about the dad's point of view. Do you get what I mean? Bedridden, hospital. Your wife's a smackhead, with respect. Bro, there's not much you can do, fam. You can't even go out there and do the man thing. Unless you're trying to come on a Professor X vibe, you know what I mean? On a for real Professor X wheelchair, one of them ones. I'll do it, but you know what I mean?
Naziah needs to be home with her family, and we love her. So if you are harboring her, there is a law for that. And I'm asking that whoever has any information about my granddaughter, to please contact.
So what's the location of this man again?
Bet Victor.
Police quickly learned that Naziah was not the type to go MIA. She had no unexcused absences from school, and she was very active on social
15,
media.
turning 16,
For her to go
start
completely
thinking you're bigger than
silent
what
like
you
this
are,
was
man.
completely out of character. On February 20th, the Detroit police released a missing persons flyer on their Facebook page that described Naziah as being 5'2" and 130 pounds. She was last seen wearing clear frame glasses, a white sweater, a black jacket or hoodie, a pink and white Rugrats coat with a fur collar, light blue denim jeans, and blue and white Nike gym
Listen
shoes.
to the clothing description,
At the time
man.
she disappeared,
As a man,
Naziah
how
was
can you
wearing
wanna...
her hair in 2 braided puff balls, which can also be seen in her last selfie.
Boy.
On February 14th, the police performed a grid search in Naziah's neighborhood within a 4-mile radius from her home, even handing out flyers to neighbors and bringing out canine units. Active
So the
gang
police
members
weren't
and
making an
people
effort
who
on
wouldn't
this, but
normally be collaborating with
reality
police
is
were
they didn't
out in
have a
full
lot to work
force,
with, I'm guessing.
participating in these searches. The chief of public safety was hopeful they could bring her home alive and well. But in his words, we can't operate on hope and we have to operate on information. Now, before Naziah went missing, her father Mervyn suffered a stroke made worse by his chronic heart condition. He was hospitalized when he learned that his daughter was reported missing.
Oh,
He said
too
that
much
he and
stress
his
on the
wife
heart,
Nakia
man.
were among the people out searching for Naziah on the days his condition allowed.
See?
Mervyn said in an interview,
So dad was trying to forward. Okay, I take it back. But as I said, the heart condition was not... It wasn't cooperating, bro. It was not cooperating. It's like you're trying to push yourself as much as you can, but then the overbearing amount of stress plus whatever the condition may be properly... I'd hate that feeling as a dad, bro. That powerless feeling that you can't do anything for your little girl. Because bear in mind, this is a man's daughter. Oh, bro, I think the stress would have took me out, bro. I'm gonna keep it real. I think the stress really would have took me out. I can't even do it.
Some people don't even know me, and they coming out. They came up to see me at the hospital. They asked me some questions about my daughter. Have I seen her? And I haven't seen my daughter. You have moments.
He's even in a wheel. Oh, you'd think I'm trying to banter, and I'm not. This guy's even in a wheelchair, and you can hear the pain in his voice. You know he wants to do something about it, and he can't, fam. This is mad.
It's in your life where you do think you're standing alone.
Naziah's disappearance caused a divide in her family. Some relatives were upset that Jarvis was allowed to be so close to Naziah,
Yes.
especially unsupervised.
100%.
In my opinion, he shouldn't have been allowed near her at all.
At all. Or any of the
Jason
any
Mays,
children.
whose
He shouldn't
partner
even be...
interviewed Jarvis Butts on February 15th as he was already in the Wayne County Jail on unrelated charges. He claimed he hadn't seen Naziah since late December to early January and said they were both in her grandmother's home. He was also asked about texts between them. Jarvis also told investigators Naziah often came to the auto shop he worked at to visit his daughter. Jarvis was asked about what his day was like on January 9th, and he said he had some criminal charges to take care of. This was somewhat true. He had criminal charges filed against him for carrying a concealed weapon. His new fiance had taken him to the police station so he could turn himself in. However, the date he was supposed to turn himself in had been pushed back to February. While incarcerated, he called a coworker and asked them to retrieve his phone, as he had left it in a truck and wanted to get it before the police did. On March 6, investigators brought their search efforts to a pond near the intersection of Gratiot Avenue and Quinn Road in Clinton Township, just behind a shopping center. It was thought Naziah could be there, or that they could find evidence of her being there. However, their initial search did not yield any results. On March 7th, a woman named Valerie Smith called the Detroit Police Department with evidence. For 2 weeks, Valerie walked past a lost school ID card. One day, she picked it up and recognized Naziah's face immediately.
Oh my days.
March 12th, U.S. Border Patrol agent Wyatt Barnes located discarded clothing in the area of 7 Mile and Berg near the Rouge River. He found a shoe, a pair of pink overalls, a black hoodie with a set of headphones in its pocket, and a towel. One article of clothing was reported to be damaged in some way, pointing to some kind of altercation. It later come out that there was blood evidence found on it. However, there were no major updates after March. It took until August 15th for more updates to be made to the public, including background information and a timeline of events from January 9th.
When Naziah got off the school bus, she met Jarvis and one of his co-workers, and they took her to the auto shop. According to reports, Jarvis's sister was in the building at the time. She saw Naziah but didn't say anything to her. Jarvis, Naziah, and the co-worker went to Ypsilanti before returning to the auto shop. Jarvis rented a room at the Park Crest Motel from 9:30 p.m. on January 9th to 12:20 p.m. on the 10th. The workers at the front desk would later provide these records to the police. Jarvis's phone was tracking his location during this entire period and placed him near the Rouge River on January 10th, after Naziah went missing and before her clothes were found. Investigators found many text messages between Naziah and Jarvis of an explicit nature, which we're not going to read for you. Some of these messages included pictures. By going through the messages, police found a potential motive. On September 26, 2023, Naziah told Jarvis she had missed her period. She had taken a pregnancy test before and it had come.
No, man, no, 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 no. No, this is not a conversation, bro. This is not a conversation that, one, a 15-year-old should be having, and two, with her uncle, and three, bro, this girl has been groomed to the maximum degree, bro. And it's sad because when young people are put into that position, their mind gets warped to such a degree that they think that this is normal or okay, because now they've lost their sense of direction, bro. And she's telling my man like he's gonna help her. He, first of all, I'm assuming, is the one that put you in this situation, and now he's gonna shut you, bro. This is just reminding me of this whole David situation with that girl. This is a repeat thing. There's just people out here that just do this, man.
Come back negative, but she needed to test again and didn't have the money to buy another. She told Jarvis, "You ain't scared to get a plan B. Get a pregnancy test and bring it later today and just act like you have to use the bathroom."
I'm sick, man. I'm sick.
On November 27th, Naziah texted Jarvis and said, "I just want to talk. I really don't want to lose you. Can we talk later? Yes or no? I don't know what your problem, but I need you to bring me what I need tonight. It's hard doing all this gym shit with this baby, and if I don't do them, I'm gonna get an F." During this time, Jarvis's search history recorded him researching how to terminate a pregnancy, both through medical means and through more unsafe methods. One specific result investigators found involved drinking red antifreeze. Evidence from Naziah's devices suggested she was also conducting similar searches.
On August 15th, the Detroit Police Department submitted an arrest warrant request to the Wayne County Prosecutor's Office. Not long after Jarvis was arrested. It was thought that the arrest was tied to Naziah's disappearance, but this wasn't the only reason. The prosecutor's office was building its case against Jarvis for all his past assaults against children. On September 26th, the Detroit Police Department announced that they were pivoting from a missing persons investigation to a homicide investigation. Although her physical body was never recovered, the police and the prosecutor's office felt there was enough evidence to show that Naziah was no longer alive. Prosecutor Kim Worthy said in a statement, "The evidence in this case will clearly show that the defendant's alleged actions were beyond predatory. They were vulturous."
Fam, vulturous, I love that word. Seriously, it was.
Prove that he killed young Naziah after he found out she was pregnant at 13.
Bro, I need a break. Have a Kit Kat. I need a break. Have a Kit Kat, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you lot. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna tell you the truth and nothing but the truth. 13. Nah, let's come here. Let me chat to you, man. 13. Not justifying at all. At all. I thought from what we was reading and watching, it was 15. Still wrong. Still hellfire. Forward. But 13, bro. I can't lie to you lot. This is mad. This is mad. This is rank. This is rank, bro. Homicide case for a pregnant 13-year-old that the uncle got pregnant. It's not even a words thing anymore. It's not even a... Oh. Play, man.
Child. That same
this is
month,
too
Prosecutor
much.
Worthy addressed the public in a press conference where she summarized.
I'm so
the
happy that these got shed a light on this
plans
matter.
Moving forward. She also gave a warning to any parents that were listening to her.
We all must. We must be very careful.
What they said, this is ongoing.
We let into our hearts and our homes and our
this ain't
lives,
settled.
especially if you have children. We must be very careful who we have around our children and elders, respectively. We must also be very careful who we leave our children with.
For real.
Even if they are in a relationship partners, family, and friends. I'll say that again. Even if they are relationship partners, families, or friends.
It's so real,
Life
man. Anyone can do it. And
but when it comes to our children,
sad.
we must be deliberative, we must be diligent, and laser focused on their safety.
For real.
And sometimes we must make decisions about them
for real
and their lives that we may not like. And that they may not like.
Be a selfish
but it's for
parent.
the betterment of them and their safety.
Exactly.
And their future.
Exactly.
When something doesn't feel right, even if it's just that voice in your head, it usually isn't right.
If your spirit don't feel it,
sometimes when we are attentive and we do everything right by our children, things can still happen and still go very wrong despite our best efforts. This can happen to good watchers of children. But we must always ask ourselves at the end of each and every day, was I right by each member of my household in terms of their safety? Did I do right by my children?
On September 27th, Jarvis was charged with first-degree premeditated murder, child essay activity, and second-degree criminal sexual conduct of a person under 13. There were also additional charges filed for acts of essay
bro.
preying on Naziah.
Give him the penalty.
Jarvis was held in jail until his preliminary hearing on October 10th, where he was brought before Judge Aaliyah Sabri. In light of the danger he posed to the community, Jarvis was denied bond and was also charged as a fourth-time offender.
Naziah's paternal aunt, Tiffany Jennings, stayed out of the public eye until after Jarvis's arrest. She was asked by reporter Sean Lay who was responsible for protecting Naziah from Jarvis, to which she said,
"Oh, what a loaded question, right, Sean? In my personal opinion, with no affiliation, there are multiple parties involved, as many have already stated.
That makes sense. There's multiple parties involved.
And I just have to hold on to hope that the entire truth will come to light. This is the beginning of the truth, and we're very grateful for this part, but the entire story will come out."
Naziah was only beginning to repair her relationship with her father and her paternal family by extension. But in this interview, Tiffany implies that those closest to Naziah had a hand, directly or indirectly, in everything that happened to her.
Naziah's family members were in the courtroom audience throughout the legal proceedings that took place between November 1st, 2024 and January 6, 2025. Prosecution not only focused on Naziah, but on the other girls Jarvis targeted as well. Now 20 and 13 years old, two of Jarvis's prior victims took the stand.
Two of Jarvis's prior victims took the stand. Bro. Fam. You have to sit back, right, and actually deep who this guy is, you know. This guy's disgusting. Fourth-time offender. I can't lie, we need to stop being so... Well, not we, because if I was in power, this would have never happened. But they need to stop being so gentle about stuff like this, bro. First time, Not good, not okay. But you still let him get away. Second time, you're taking the piss. You was already taking the piss, now you're piss plus. Get him out, bro. Out. Four times. Ain't nothing fantastic about this. Hey, bro, this. It's mad.
King Wright.
It's mad. Sorry, let's run that back. Let's run that back.
Jarvis's co-worker, Cordell King Wright, who was also incarcerated at the Wayne County Jail for unrelated charges, was brought in as a witness. He testified that he and Jarvis had picked Naziah up on their way back from AutoZone and brought her back to the auto shop on the 9th. Okay. He said he did not see her after that day. Okay. Jarvis's sister, Tijuana Butts, also testified that she was at the auto shop on January 9th and saw a little girl getting in and out of Jarvis's white Cadillac Escalade. Later realized that this little girl was Naziah. Tijuana also was able to identify some of the clothes that Naziah was wearing that day. Jarvis's former fiancée, Tashiana Davis, was among the prosecution's witnesses. As we mentioned earlier, she was his ride to the police station when he had to turn
This guy is a mongrel of lust,
He testified he was always protective of his phone because he was a habitual cheater. She stayed with him despite these affairs because she saw him as good with kids.
That's not funny. That's not funny. If I'm being honest, I'm in an emotional panic, bro. Good with kids. Do I have news for you, bruv? Miss? Do I have news for you? I said you stayed with him because bro.
Yes, you heard that correctly. In addition, one of Jarvis's former girlfriends said he borrowed her car on January 9th. When she got the car back, she found a pair of glasses inside. They were identical to the set Naziah often wore.
Testimonies from investigators furthered the case against Jarvis. The text messages between Naziah and Jarvis were presented in court. The earliest were dated back to September of 2022. Naziah would have only been 12 years old.
Stop it, man.
In one exchange, Jarvis visited the Harris house when no one was home. He told Naziah he left with a pair of her underwear. He solicited Naziah for explicit pictures of herself, made sexual advances, and guilt-tripped her when she wouldn't do what he wanted. In the end, Judge Elias Sabri had harsh words for Jarvis and everyone that failed Naziah.
Stand up.
This guy drank the devil's blood, bro. Must have.
Sitting over there for 4 days.
On some Muzan shit, bro.
Sitting between and behind your attorney with your mask on and taking vigorous notes. I want you to pay attention and listen to everything I have to say. You. At one point, I thought you were cognitively impaired in the beginning of this exam.
Cognitively
and then maybe
impaired.
You had the brain of a 10-year-old, and that's why you were doing such things.
No, man.
But as I heard more and more testimony, you are just a true definition of a problem.
Yes. True.
Watching you laugh and brag about all the women you have with different women and the children and the girlfriends, and making babies to groom them, and having them in your presence, and cleaning up your shop, and the little girls around you, has landed you here today. You groomed Naziah. You played mind games with her. We all heard that. You controlled her emotionally.
Yep.
She was exposed to so much at such a young age.
So much more than she should have been.
The text messages between you two were disgusting to hear.
Word.
And to think that she had you saved in her phone as bae for life. Naziah deserves so much more. And while I mentioned other people that
she was a
failed
straight A student, smart little girl, man. That's on the wrong path.
In this whole picture. She did deserve love from her parents and everyone who was in her life. She was ignored, she was neglected, and you took complete advantage of that. She wanted someone to love her, and she will never know what that feels like. Your children deserve more. As much as the defense counsel has raised issues on count 1, all that has done is raise the question of fact for the trier of fact, which means that this will be for a jury or a judge to hear at 3rd Circuit. I pray for the healing of all the victims and the young girls and possibly boys who have come into contact with you. As a community, we should look at this case as a prime example of how much work we have to do when it comes to protecting our children, and especially our black girls.
You cannot be taking away futures from kids.
I pray for closure and healing for all those who were traumatized. And for you, Jarvis Butts, I wish you a speedy trial and that justice be delivered.
Detroit-based rap artist Trayvon Gardner, known professionally as Skilla Baby, followed Naziah Harris's story. The news broke that Naziah was officially declared dead. Skilla Baby mourned her loss. He made a post on his Instagram where he announced that he was willing to cover the entire cost of a memorial service for Naziah.
That's
account
real.
Still exists, but it's been wiped of all activity. There are still some screenshots of this particular post. Naziah's cousin Roxy confirmed that many celebrities, including Skilla Baby, had reached out to her. She told reporters, "My goal was to make sure Naziah Harris's story reached worldwide."
Yep, naturally.
And it reached worldwide because this isn't only happening in the city of Detroit.
For real,
More women and more young girls are speaking up. And that was my ultimate goal for not only Naziah to get justice, but for every young girl and every young woman who's ever been sexually abused to get justice.
This is the thing, bro. This is always the biggest thing. You need to encourage the voice of children, bro. You need to encourage children to speak up when there's an issue, man. You know what I mean? You can't raise a child in fear of speaking up, man. It's not good, man, because stuff like this just can't be going on unaccounted for, man. And it's sad because I just feel like maybe if the dad wasn't in the position he was in terms of his health, I feel like he would have been so much more involved, and he would have seen these things and been in her life more, communicated more to make sure that she was thoroughly looked after by an actual man, right? But the only male figure, from what I understand from what we're watching, is do you get what I mean? Is a PDF, bro. It's mad. And that poor baby's mind has been warped to thinking that this is okay. Being pregnant at 15 by a man that's decades older than you, bruv. Jesus.
In addition, Mark DeAndre of the 7 Mile Radio podcast used his platform to help spread Naziah's story across Detroit as early as February of 2024. Mark interviewed family members during his live segments, including Naziah's biological father, Mervyn Jennings. At first, Mark worked closely with Naziah's cousin, Roxy. But Mark and Roxy parted ways in January of 2025. She shared the following post on her Facebook account, which reads in part, "I regret to inform you all with a very heavy heart that I am no longer associated or part of the 7 Mile Radio team with Mark due to irreconcilable differences. Please respectfully refrain from sharing any social media content associated with 7 Mile Radio with me. This decision was not an easy decision to make. However, it is best for me in my current journey in life at this time. I wish you the best in all of your future endeavors. Thank you for your gracious support and understanding." We mentioned 7 Mile Radio podcasts earlier in this episode, but there are a lot of creators such as Black Girl Gone and Shanitra Speaks that have done deep dives into the parts of the case that the media hasn't covered, such as Naziah's family dynamics and the rumors that have been unfolding on social media. Since we can't corroborate some of what's been said with official sources, we won't be covering those points today. However, if that's something that interests you, we'll be sure to link their channels for you to check out.
In February of 2025, the Department of Health and Human Services released a lackluster official statement. It read, "Our hearts go out to the family and friends of Naziah Harris. But we can't discuss specific cases due to state and federal laws. MDHHS is deeply committed to ensuring the health and safety of all children." There were many petitions created on change.org seeking justice for Naziah. One of these was created by Tamara Liberty Smith, Vice Chairwoman for the Detroit Board of Police Commissioners, and also Mervyn Jennings' friend of 35 years. She included an open letter to Child Protective Services, which read, "The safety and well-being of our children must be our utmost priority. Recent events have highlighted a critical gap in the enforcement of CPS rules, allowing children to remain in environments where their safety is compromised by known violators of these rules.
Yes, that's true.
Naziah Harris's tragic passing underscores the need for immediate action. Her life was cut short because a known pedophile was allowed to have contact with her, despite existing CPS guidelines intended to...
And he was 3 times convicted of this, mind you. Prior to Naziah's situation, 3 times convicted, bro. 3 times, man. How can the family, I'm assuming the family knows this though. Do you get what I mean? Like, 3 times convicted, man. Oh, man.
Prevent such scenarios. We believe that this tragedy could have been avoided with stricter enforcement and oversight. We urge CPS to, 1, review and strengthen policies, reevaluate current policies related to the custody and care of children who may be exposed to known pedophiles, ensuring that these policies are robust and comprehensive. 2, enhance monitoring and compliance, increase monitoring and enforcement efforts to ensure compliance with CPS rules, particularly in cases where a child's safety may be at risk. 3, implement mandatory reporting and accountability measures. Establish mandatory reporting and accountability protocols for caregivers and guardians who knowingly place children in unsafe environments.
For real.
4, provide better support and resources. Offer more support and resources for families and caregivers to make informed decisions that prioritize the safety of children. Tamara's petition currently has over 30,000 signatures and is still open today. We'll have it in the description and the pinned comment below. There are other petitions out there on the web that are advocating for the arrest of Naziah's grandmother Annette and her aunt Shannon as they allowed Jarvis into Naziah's life.
Jarvis is scheduled to go to trial on October.
Because the thing, I didn't want to comment on the grandma and the aunt, right? Because I didn't know, more so the grandma than the aunt. I didn't know how involved the grandma was in terms of keeping her to and from Naziah and this Jarvis guy. But from what's being said now, the grandma didn't put her best foot forward to ensure her safety. Man, always remember, prevention is better than cure. Prevention is better than cure, man.
6, 2025. He's facing a maximum sentence of life in prison without the possibility of parole. However, as he's yet to go to trial, he is considered innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. Naziah's father, Mervyn Jennings, died in August of 2024.
Wait, what?
Naziah's father, Mervyn Jennings, died in August of 2024.
Nah. It just gets worse and worse and worse and worse, man. Worse and worse, man.
It's unclear if he ever learned his daughter's fate or the man responsible for it. His family and friends spoke to the public on his behalf, asking for justice to be served. Tamara Liberty Smith told the press he died of a broken heart. He passed not knowing where his daughter was. That's the reason he got sicker. He was searching relentlessly for her. And now he's left the earth with no answers. I'm just hoping the family can get the justice they deserve. I'm not sure we're even looking for a living person anymore. The family still wants answers. And for whoever did this to be punished.
Yeah, man, that's serious, man. That's really serious. I can't lie. That end is really shaking me up a bit still. I'm not gonna lie to you, because it's like, as a father, not myself of course, but as a father in his position, you're sick, you can't do anything. Your daughter's been reported as lost. You got a heart condition. You don't know what her situation is at all. And you've now faced yourself in your deathbed without knowing the condition of your daughter. That's a terrible way to go out, bro. If you guys want to know more information about the case and the situation, I'll leave a link to the video down below. Again, this is by the channel The Misery Machine. Show love to them, watch their videos, subscribe to them. I know I've subscribed. I can't lie, that was a fantastic video. They've presented it and informed us very well on the whole matter. We'll probably end up reacting to more stuff around these types of topics or other things of that nature, just about like true crime, because I feel like it's very good to be educated. It's very good to be educated about things like this. We have to understand that people are dangerous. You're dangerous. I can be dangerous. You can be dangerous is what I meant to say. You know what I mean? We need to be very vigilant about things like this, especially when it comes to kids. But again, if you guys did enjoy this video, make sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe. Tell me your favorite part about the video. What was the most interesting part to you? Because there was a lot that was quite interesting to me, as you could see with me relentlessly pausing and whatever. But you guys have a good one. Take care of yourselves. Bye.